Nami is about to change forever in the One Piece TCG. When it comes to OP07, things are about to divide in a way Nami players aren't ready for. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to provide you a guide as to the 3 different routes that you can actually succeed with Nami come OP07 now that it's on the sim, and get your brain flowing when it comes to testing and different ideas. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, I encourage you to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you want me to talk about in terms of Nami. Also leave a like on the video, it really helps. Let's talk about Nami in OP07 coming from 06. The latest addition that we've had to the deck is White Snake, and White Snake has been a great addition against the aggro decks, providing a 1k boost for the whole turn. Now, this card isn't leaving. The card that this replaced is where the topic starts, and that's Buggy. A lot of lists have been dropping Buggy altogether, and Buggy's acted as a searcher in OP05, a necessity, as many would say, to find some of the better cards in the deck. It searches for Mr. 1, it searches for Brickfist to bounce your Kaias or heck your Buggy again, and most importantly, it finds Deathwing. Now, all of these cards have their different uses. Deathwing draws us 2 cards, an instant speed peel-off. Brickfist allows us to recur some of our characters, and Mr. 1 allows us to recur our 1-cost events, namely our Gavels, to mill 2 cards, counter out 4k, and do all that great stuff. Buggy provided a lot of utility, but we see that going into OP06 with the addition of White Snake, even though a lot of lists are still playing Deathwing, it's okay to not have it in your list because there still are a lot of ways to take advantage of what the metagame is doing, especially right now. If Katakuri and NL are just going to be all over the metagame right now, you can get away with not playing Deathwing and just playing stuff like more removal, or playing 7-cost Crocodile to take advantage of your opponents and reduced events. So there's a lot of directions to go there. But when it comes to searchers, they might actually make a big comeback because there's 2 big cards to talk about here. First one, it just list as well included on the screen, is going to be the Kuja Pirates list built around Gloriosa. Gloriosa is a 1-cost 0-power 1k counter character Amazon Lily type that says on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirates type card other than Gloriosa, and then put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Now, Gloriosa essentially is new Buggy, but what does this provide us? We've already replaced Buggy. What's the point of having a card like this? What does it search? Well, if you look at this deck list right here, there's certain cards that we've added and certain cards that still stay because of their synergy. The card that stays is actually Love Beam, and this is a card that's actually going to matter in the next deck list that we're going to talk about. So a lot more Beam is going to be seen in this new metagame. Kuja Pirates type, you all know Love Beam being able to draw you a card if you're 3 or less cards in hand, give you a 4k counter. That's great. Gloriosa also gives you the ability to look for a new event coming in Snake Dance. Snake Dance is 2 cost for a Kuja Pirates type event that says give up to 1 of your leader or characters plus 4k during this battle. It's a counter. Then return up to 1 of your characters to its owner's hand. What's great about this is this allows you to not only return a Gloriosa and the next character that we're going to talk about, but because there's no restriction on the bounce, you can return a Zeph as well. Now, notably in this mock-up here, I'm not playing Zeph. You definitely could. We'll see how the metagame evolves as we see more gameplay on this channel, and you got to subscribe and hit the bell notification down below if you want to see more of that. Now, the last card that this looks for as an addition that I made is Margaret, a 3-cost 2k power, no counter Amazon Lily character with blocker. So potentially the return of blockers on this, but a searchable blocker at that, and says on play draw a card. So on play, it replaces itself, potentially eats a removal spell, or especially against other matchups such as yellow, well, it's just going to act as a blocker, block a big mom attack or whatever it might be. So a lot of power to be had in a card like this. And if you're playing a card like Brickfist, you can bounce this, play it again, get some other card draw. Just straight replacement effects are really powerful. So we have 3 different targets in this deck list already, very similar to the Buggy Searcher. So Gloriosa could be an engine to take advantage of. Now, there is one more event that some of the Kuja Pirates or Amazon Lily Truthers want to talk about, and that is a card up on the screen right now that has a trigger of draw a card, but then the front side really only adds a boost to the Amazon Lily characters. So I don't know about this card just yet. I get it. The draw one trigger is great, but I don't know how many Impel Down All-Stars we can afford in this deck, aka dead cards. I think if you had more ways to discard them out of your hand, maybe, but also in this list, we're not exactly enabling Deathwing, so we don't necessarily need to be discarding cards in our hand or getting empty-handed. We don't mind having a bunch of cards in our hand, so that's another bonus as well. In terms of the next deck list, I want to talk about Sengoku. With the list beside him, Sengoku is another searcher, 1 cost 2k, counter 1k as well, for a Navy character that says on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 card with a 7 Warlords of the Sea type. Add it to your hand and put the remaining cards at the bottom. So another searcher that looks at 7 Warlords. Now, you know already that there already are some 7 Warlord type cards in this. Notably, Sengoku can't search for itself. Usually what happens is with these searches, sometimes they'll have the type of itself that it searches for. This is more kind of flavor heavy where it'll look for the 7 Warlords for those of you anime watchers, but you can't search for itself. It just kind of types its restriction out. But the cards it's looking for already in the deck list are cards like Desert Spada, which is great. It's going to be a great way to rearrange the top of your deck or the bottom of your deck, and just a great easy 2k counter. Classic card in the deck because its trigger draws 2. The next card is 7 Warlords type in Love Beam. As I mentioned with the last deck list, this is going to be a great way to search your search through your deck and find a 4k counter as well. The second last card that I want to talk about is Overheat. 7 Warlords type counter, you know, your leader gains 4k and then you can return up to 1 active character 3 or less to its owner's hand, so it can bounce your opponent's cards, it can bounce your cards, and the trigger bounces 4 or less to owner's hand. This is another great way to find another 4k counter, and I think that's what I really like about Sengoku. Sengoku has the ability to find 2 4k counters, dig for 2 4k counters that actively enable it. Imagine going Sengoku, then getting the Overheat to then Overheat bounce the Sengoku, and then either counter out or play the Sengoku again to find another Overheat. You can churn through multiple Sengokus potentially and synergize into the events that it's looking for. You could not do this with Buggy. You could notably do this with Gloriosa because the event that you look for does bounce Gloriosa. But I think Sengoku is really interesting to note just because the already synergistic cards it mentions. The last card I want to talk about is 7 cost Crocodile. Now, shout out to obviously the Crocodile truthers here. 7 Warlords of the type, obviously one of the 7 Warlords right here. Banish, and then you have the Dawn X1. Your events cost 1 less to play. I think you can affordably in this list as well play less copies of Crocodile because Sengoku can now search for it. So great card to look up. You're playing the peel-offs, you're not playing any Deathwings, you're just being active as much as possible, and then having a Crocodile out, adding a Dawn to it, then you play Sengoku, look for an Overheat. Overheat costs 1 less, it's now 1. It's just a lot of synergy in terms of the amount of Dawn that you're using. That's a 10 Dawn play right there, right? So a lot of things that you can do and make happen with searchers like this. And I think, again, Sengoku, Gloriosa, those are the cards that you want to be really taking advantage of in this deck list. But I really want to hear your thoughts down below. What do you think is going to be the engine to play when it comes to OP07? Is it going to be the Buggy list, classic with Deathwing, Impel Down, looking up Brickfist? Or is it going to be the Sengoku list, looking up 7 cost Crocodile, or already Love Beam and Spada and Overheat? Or finally, is it going to be Gloriosa, being able to look up the Kuja pirates in Love Beam and Snake Dance and the newly added Margaret with some blocking synergy? You're obviously going to be seeing a bunch of gameplay content, so you again want to subscribe and hit the bell notification for all that coming soon. Now that OP07 is up on the sim, I definitely want to hear your thoughts. I definitely want to see y'all trying some OP07 in the new meta. Let's get to milling.